Welcome to Library Out Loud, a conversation about any and all things related to the Spokane County Library District. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and our friends at STCU. Now, here's your host, Jane Baker.
Hello and welcome to Library Out Loud. I'm Jane Baker with the Spokane County Library District, and joining me today, Mary Ellen Brax, also with the County Library District. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks for being here today.
Oh, glad to be here today.
Mary Ellen is our early learning specialist at the Library District, and you do amazing work. We've had you on the program before and talked about all the great things you do and how inspiring it is to the early learners in the area. So you're a godsend to the community.
Thank you very much. I enjoy it.
Great. I'm glad you're here today because we're going to talk about one of the early learning programs. Well, we're going to talk about many of them at the Library District, but we're going to start with music and movement. That's coming up this summer.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
Yes, this is an idea our staff had about doing a movement program with music. And actually, we can't take credit for the idea. One of our neighboring libraries has been doing a very popular music and movement story time. And so we thought, wow, we should give it a shot because we'd heard lots of great things about it. Mm-hmm. So we decided that this summer would be an excellent time to start this with our summer reading theme is music this year.
Right.
So it goes in very nicely with that.
It's perfect. Libraries rock is the theme this year, and we've had a lot of music. So more about music and movement. Why music?
Music is great on so many levels for children. It's a chance for them to get up and move around, and we've talked a lot about getting kids physically active, and we rely so much on our devices. So this is just a way to do something with a device in the background versus a child staring at a screen and doing something, so that they hear that music and they can move their bodies, get some energy out. Having a dance party in the middle of the day, if your kids are going wild on a rainy day, is a great way to just get some extra energy out. But there are so many educational benefits to listening to music.
Sure.
And starting at an early age, even with babies, is that they're starting to hear that language. They're starting to hear that rhythm. And so it's helping the neurons in their brains connect as they hear more language coming at them. And given the music part of it, too, it adds another dimension so that you're really getting babies' brains to work. I love being in a story time and being able to be doing a program maybe for preschoolers, but the moms have the younger babies, the siblings there, and you see a baby, the minute you turn on music, their whole body starts to move up and down to the beat of the music.
You bet.
So it's a very internal thing for a lot of children to just be drawn to music.
Kind of a natural thing.
Yeah, a natural thing.
Yeah.
But music is really great for what they call phonological awareness, and that is the ability to hear the smaller parts of sounds within words.
Really?
And being able to decipher between those sounds. You are able to do that at an infant stage, on up to about 2. And so they're really able to hear those nuances. So that's how babies and young children pick up different languages so quickly, because they're able to hear those different intonations.
Wow.
And so the University of Washington has done some great work in the iLabs about this subject. If you go to their webpage, you can usually find a few little video clips where they actually are doing different sounds with babies and watching them respond.
Oh,
to that.
how fascinating.
So it's really interesting. So then you throw in music into it, and where you can hear those smaller parts of sounds, then children learn that each word has a different syllable. And so, because one note in music usually goes to one syllable of a word.
Sure.
And so then that helps actually with reading and decoding, because then you realize that words can be made up of different syllables. And it's easier to break down the word as you read.
Wow, that's really fascinating research that they've done to discover that.
Yes, and so it's just so much fun to hear the kids, because you can hear that exaggeration with the words too. And then, of course, we all have experienced the child who just has a totally different word than what the real word is in the song too.
Sure.
But it's just how they're hearing that, hearing that word with the music. So that can be a lot of fun, just to hear what they're picking up on and what they're not picking up on. But it's a great way, because it's got some rhythm to it and some music to it. It's a great way for them to actually learn a finger play or something like that has a melody to it. So then it works on memory and cognitive development, because you're working on that memory if you do a song over and over and over again. And that's why kids really like to hear that repetition a lot. That is how they're learning. And so you don't have to have the words in front of them. They're picking up oral language just by being able to listen to the music and sing the song over and over and learn the words.
And
so
the
they
rhythm
pick
and the
up
patterns.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the rhythm and the patterns, so you start getting into some of the math with the rhythms, because you're getting into the counting of the beats. There.
Yes.
The patterning goes along with both math and reading, because you're figuring out a different pattern for each, and you have patterns in math and you have patterns in reading and how you decode a word.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'd always heard that music was related to helping with math, and now that makes sense.
Right.
Interesting.
So you can do a lot of counting things with a rhythm that you have going, and you can start to look at the numbers, and they're starting to hear the numbers, and then you can enhance that by actually showing them maybe objects at the same time too. And so then you're working on that one-to-one correspondence, and then you can always put in a numeral too, so they can actually see the numeral as you're counting
Oh,
too.
so much learning.
Yes.
Yeah, all at once.
A lot of fun.
Now, what age group are we talking? What ages are...
For this particular program, we're doing ages 3 to 7 in their adults.
Okay.
So we're really looking at that early learning span, that preschool through about grade 3 age group there. And so that, about age 3 is when you're really getting down, starting to follow directions. So that's the other thing with music. Music tells you what to do. So there's a lot of songs that have some activities in them. Jim Gill's songs do. In fact, we have him coming the end of August.
That's right. We'll talk.
Doing a concert.
We'll talk more about him here in just a moment. Yeah.
But being able to follow directions is a great getting ready for kindergarten skill. And so music oftentimes has them following directions in a really fun way. And so they get used to doing that. So he's got a song called The List of Dances. So you're doing the tall and everybody stretches way up high, and then you're doing the small and everybody gets way down low. So it's set to music, so they're getting that rhythm, and then it's for them, they're playing a game.
Sure.
What they don't realize is they're learning all sorts of vocabulary. They're learning how to follow directions. They're learning how to stop. I mean, and there's some social emotional skills in there too, because if you have a song that you have to do a lot of stopping in when the music stops, you're working on that self-control, which is what they call executive functions in small children. So, the younger they are, the less of that impulse control they have, but you can keep on working at it as they get older.
Wow, that's a lot of sneaky learning there, and
It
something that
is.
looks like it's a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's so much learning and brain development going on there, and cognitive ability. that it's the problem solving. So what happens if they creep into somebody else's space? They've got to move out of that person's space and give them room there.
So many skills kids will be learning. So music and movement.
Yes.
Ages 3 to 7, and they're adults.
And they're adults.
So their adult can come along and learn some of these same things to then do at home.
Right. And the important thing when we say to bring your adult, we want the adults there because they're going to be the role model for their child. If they see their adult who's with them doing it, then they will be more likely to follow, rather than the strange library lady up at the front who they may or may not know leading them on, and they're kind of looking, she's asking me to do some pretty crazy things right now.
Right.
But if they can see their adult, their trusted person doing it along with them, they're going to be more apt to participate.
And then they'll relax and learn.
Right.
Right. Oh, that sounds great.
So we've got quite a program planned where we've got lots of interactive songs where they're going to be dancing and moving around, and we've even got they're going to be making a little musical craft to take back with them.
That sounds great.
So just something very simple that you could replicate at home, you know, because once it falls apart, because eventually
it happens.
Those things do. But they're just kind of a lot of fun there to be able to take something home and then have it that they've made elsewhere, and then they can show their other family members what they did. And then practicing those songs is working on narrative skills also.
That's great. So the kids can come to the program. They can burn off a little energy. We sneak in a whole bunch of learning that they don't even know.
Right.
The parents are also, or parents or caregivers, are also learning what to take home to practice still more at home. And what a great program. So there's no charge for the program. It is absolutely free. And we start these, let's see. North Spokane we have coming up on July 25th.
Right.
Otis Orchards. We've already done the Otis Orchards, right? Let's see. Where are we? July.
Tuesday, June 12th. We have one. That was back.
That was
June.
We have July 28th
right.
at Spokane Valley. So July 25th at North Spokane, the 25th at Spokane Valley.
Right.
Let's see.
Medical Lake is July 16th. And then Fairfield is July 19th. And Moran Prairie is August 4th. And on August 8th is Airway Heights.
Airway Heights. And if you want any of these times or locations or dates again, just go to our website, which is scld.org, and it'll be all under the music and movement. Or if you're in the library, pick up one of the Engage program guides and see all the programs we have. Now, also on this particular same page in the magazine, we have Jim Gill listed here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about Jim Gill. This is very exciting. Do not miss if you have kids. So we'll come back and talk about that in just a moment on Library Out Loud.
Hi everyone, I'm weather forecaster and assignment anchor at Spokane Talks Online, Colin Pittman, and I am honored to be the host of the new program, Spokane's Youth Spotlight, brought to you by Spokane Talks Online and the Spokesman Review, where we are interviewing and getting to know outstanding youth in our community each month. If you'd like to nominate someone in our community that you think should be recognized, that is doing something great here in the region or has an amazing story, visit SpokaneTalksOnline.com or Spokesman.com and look under Youth Spotlight to nominate. And be sure to tune in each month as we find the best in the Inland Northwest.
Hi, I'm Larry Myers, owner of River Ridge Hardware. Welcome to our garden center here on the corner of Garland and Driscoll. We have fresh plants that come in weekly from all of our local growers. We can make your garden look like our garden. Here at River Ridge, we've been here 30 years. We're your full-service neighborhood hardware store. This is our sprinkler aisle where my knowledgeable staff will help you put together your sprinkler system so it will make your yard lush, green, for the spring and summer. This is River Ridge Hardware's rental center, where we provide a multitude of equipment for rent for the do-it-yourselfer. Next time you're working on your home or yard this spring and summer, stop by, say hi, and we'll help you get the project done.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
And welcome back to Library Out Loud. I'm Jane Baker. Joining me is Mary Ellen Brax with the Spokane County Library District, an early learning specialist. And I can't emphasize specialist enough because I'm totally amazed at the work you do.
Thank you.
At first it seems like, wow, she gets to do all this fun stuff, which you do.
Yes.
But there's so much learning snuck in there that it's just really amazing, all the things you do. So we were talking about the music and movement programs.
Yes.
And if somebody's watching live today, there is a program happening today in Cheney, starting at 10:30 this morning. And again, if you need the times, locations, and dates of the music movement program, check us out online at scld.org or pick up in the Engage magazine. So we're talking about music and movement. You have a couple books here with you.
Right.
Tell me about these books.
Well, we like to say that there are books that sing. And so we have lots of books in our library collections that are based around songs. And so one of the fun ones we did recently with our Touch a Truck event, or Touch a Bus event, was the Wheels on the Bus. And so this, there's lots of different versions of the Wheels on the Bus.
Yep.
So I thought it would be fun to show you a couple of those. We also have the Babies on the Bus. And so that is all about what the babies are doing on the bus.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then to just make it even more interesting, we have the seals on the bus.
Okay.
And so the seals on the bus, so it's the seals on the bus go art, 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 art. And so it is just, it goes through different animals here. So we have the rabbits on the bus go up and down. One of my favorite ones in here is the vipers on the bus.
The vipers.
The vipers. So what we do with the kids a lot of times is we say, oh my gosh, there's a viper on the bus. What does that mean? What do you think it is? And then for us to find the page and be able to show them that there's all these vipers and what are vipers. And so usually when the kids go, oh, it's a snake.
Yeah.
And then we can say, well, what sound does the snake make? And then we go into the song. The vipers on the bus go hiss, 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 hiss. The vipers on the bus go hiss, 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 all around the town.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's just giving the kids the opportunity to learn different vocabulary, to learn different actions, different movements. It gets them moving at the same time.
Sure.
So if you're a teacher in a classroom and you're having your reading time, something like this, you've had a book where the kids are sitting and they're taking in all that information. Then you read something with a little bit of movement in it. So it gets the kids moving around. And during that moving around time, it gets the neurons in their brains firing so that they're making connections. And then they're ready to take in more information when you go and sit down again. And you may be reading another book, or maybe at that time you're talking about what you're doing for the day, but they're able to take more information in.
Just the movement.
Just the movement. There's a real correlation between that movement and having that time to get your wiggles out is what we call it. But then it actually gives the brain kind of a rest and gets it fired up at the same time, so they're able to take in more information.
Yeah, that's amazing. Does that work for adults too?
It works for adults too.
No, yeah, this is why we need to set the timer to get up away from the computer now and then, walk
And
around.
get up and stretch.
Or maybe read the seals on the bus.
Right. And sing it with your colleagues. We do it all the time in our office.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are down there singing quite a bit.
Yes.
I do want to mention quickly, we did our pop-up library a couple
Yes.
weeks ago, and STA came with a bus.
Right.
And we've been doing these touch a bus story times, and they're reading the pigeon.
Yeah, don't let the pigeon
Don't
ride
let the
bus.
pigeon ride the bus. And it's actually the bus driver reading to the kids.
And they've been doing a fantastic job at it.
And they've been having so much fun. But at our pop-up library then, after the story time, the kids got to get on the bus, and then the bus driver took them on a spin around the block. It was a short little trip, but for a lot of these kids, they've never been on a bus before. And we thought it was going to happen once, maybe twice. And what it ended up being 7 or 8 times. That poor bus driver had to drive around.
And we had different kids, but we had a lot of repeat children coming back on
They
and just
loved
saying
that.
Oh, they just loved it. It was their first experience on a bus. It was a great way to introduce the possibility of riding the bus to school, which can be kind of scary
for
especially
lots of kids.
without their parent, their adult with them. So this gives them a chance to get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of that too.
It was just amazing to see the kids flock to the bus to get on the bus for a ride around the block, and of course the parents were with them, and that was a great time. So a quick thank you to STA for
wonderful
donating that time in the bus for a couple hours that morning, and making it a thrill. And we have other Touch a Bus story times at different libraries. So
coming up,
check on our website for that. No, as promised, we have to talk about Jim Gill.
Yes, we love Jim Gill.
Now, tell me, I know who he is, but for those in the audience that don't know who Jim Gill is, who is he?
Well, Jim Gill, he used to be a special education teacher, and what he found is, as he was working with the children, is that music really helped a lot of them, and was able to get that inroads into what they were thinking and helping them to learn. And so he was able to take that and just expand that to all children.
Wow.
And so a lot of his songs are all about the enjoyment of music, but at the same time, you're learning a lot of self-control, because he has a lot of songs where you're doing different movements along with there, or you may be freezing in the middle of the song. One of my favorite songs to use is Spin Again, and so the kids are actually spinning.
Oh,
now,
dear.
you do get a little dizzy with that song, but then they have to stop and catch their balance, so you're really working on a lot of balance with that song too.
Oh, wow.
And so there's things where he involves counting, a lot of language development along with that. And so along with this, he has come up with some workshops for teachers and librarians on how to use music in their classrooms. So we're actually having 2 workshops, one on Friday morning, August 24th from 9 to 12 at the Moran Prairie Library, and then one in the afternoon on Saturday the 25th from 2 to 5 at the Spokane Valley Library. And parents, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to sign up also. There is a registration, because we have a limited amount of people that we can have for those workshops, but he has a lot of great ideas on how to use music with kids, introduces you to a lot of songs, the different ways you can use the songs also too. And so he does a great job at relating them to reading, writing, talking, singing, and playing, which is how young children learn.
That's how they learn, yes, yes. So, and you said that was August 25th.
Yep.
And so
the
if a
concert
parent...
for families is going to be August 25th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's
at
going to be a
Center
busy
Place.
day.
And so we usually have a very large crowd that comes,
Yes.
but that's the highlight of it. The workshops are great, and we love them, but we also love to see the kids respond to Jim Gill. So the concert is for families. And so it's at Center Place. We use their great room there.
Yeah,
And so we just have
huge.
people come, bring a blanket to sit on the floor, because we usually just keep a few chairs along the side for people who can't get down on the floor. But we like to keep it open because you're dancing most of the time and moving to the music.
That's great. Now, that's the Jim Gill Family Concert, Saturday, August 25th, 10 a.m. at Center Place in the Spokane Valley. That's right across from the YMCA there. And it's from about 10 to 11. Come, expect to participate, expect the kids to have a great time, and there's no charge, right?
No charge.
No charge.
No charge.
And then the workshop for parents or caregivers, that's also on the 25th.
That's also on the 25th and the 24th. We have 2 separate
Oh,
workshops.
two, both. Okay,
Yep,
great.
2 separate workshops.
So if parents want to know more about that or sign up, would they go to our website?
Go to our website, and you're going to go to Parents and Teachers, and then you're going to see on the right-hand side, there's a little column that says STARS Training, and that's what the training is called for child care providers. They need 10 hours of continuing education credits each year. So that's another little service that we provide, is some STARS training around early literacy. And so if you go click into there, you will be able to see the Jim Gill concert.
Great.
And then you'll be able to sign up starting July 25th. We usually have people register about 30 days ahead of time. If it's too much longer, people forget.
Yeah.
And so, but that is just for the workshops that you need to register.
Yeah,
You
and
don't need to register for the concert.
For the
You
concert,
just
just come on down. That's right. And I do want to mention that it is sponsored by the Friends of the Spokane County Library District. So thank you to them.
A big thank you to
Yes,
them. It is
yes.
such a big treat for us to have him.
They do some great work doing fundraisers, and that money that you spend on those used books and things that they do, this is what it pays for. These type of things coming up. So Jim Gill Family Concert on the 25th. Find out more at scld.org. We also have our Engage magazine on the back. Story times listed at all of our libraries, and very important because it's more than just reading a book to somebody. The last half
There's
hour,
so much learning.
Yeah, Mary Ellen, you just told us all that happens during that story time, and the
That's right.
music and movement. So lots of programs. Come check it out. It's all of no charge, and it's all to help your kids learn the skills to make it better to succeed in life. How awesome is that?
That's great.
Thank you for being a guest today.
Thank you.
We'll have you back for sure.
Thank you. I'd
And
love
we'll-
to come back.
Great. We'll see you next time on Library Out Loud.
Library Out Loud is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and STCU. Go visit and explore your local library today.